welcome to the stream here. Oh, let me just move a bit. Welcome to the stream here, folks. Bad at Fighting Games presents One Punch Combo, a fighting game podcast, episode 8. Riot's Project L Playtests. I'm Reason B-Man, a guy who just discovered Aldi. I've heard of Aldi and stuff before, but I actually live a lot closer to one, and it's a lot farther to go to the Safeway I used to like to go to, and I sort of have been investigating them, and their whole thing is they don't have coupons, and so basically you're getting the deal no matter what, or the actual price rather, which is a pretty cool concept as somebody who studied sustainability and also as a business person. But I also heard that when I think Aldi used to be combined with Trader Joe's, and when they came to America, they had to split apart in order not to be a monopoly. So it is interesting to see the direction both of them have went. But anyway, I just say that to say they've got some pretty good deals. Not everything is the best price there, but as we've seen even with McDonald's, you know, the dollar menu, the racing to the bottom isn't always going to be a good thing. The dollar menu had to be adjusted, but they do have some really good price stuff. Like sparkling water is pretty much half price of what it is where I normally get it. And I still think like I probably have to end up going to Safeway to get a better deal on eggs, but there are some really reasonable prices there. They also have this interesting cart deal where you put in a quarter to get a cart, and you put the cart back in order to get your quarter back. And so it's a little bit of a thing of where human psychology, where obviously most people aren't going to care much about a quarter, but the fact that it's your quarter, you want to get it back, and so that allows them to play a little bit of a psychological game where people are going to want their quarters. So 99% of the time they're going to put their cart back properly, get their quarter, and they don't have to worry about carts in the the parking lot dinging people's cars. That being said, when I was there yesterday, there was a cart in the parking lot, so not foolproof, keyword full, but it does its job, I imagine. If you want to chat while the podcast is being streamed, join me live on Twitch at Raisin B-Man. Let's go ahead and get into our ad here. Yeah, as always, thanks for tuning in, folks. This is a monthly podcast, fighting games, One Punch Combo. It's the first Saturday of every month, so you can look forward to fighting game news and tournament news. We go over a little bit of both. There's also a weekly podcast on the channel, a filler episode, an anime and manga podcast, which is weekly, every Saturday. There are recommendations of the podcast, but also something else I want to bring up is the fact that you probably have Amazon Prime because you're stuck in a pandemic, and with Amazon Prime comes Twitch Gaming. And your Twitch Gaming subscription, Amazon does not remind you of it, but it's free, and you get it every month. You could give it to me, which is great, but you could also give it to a kind of funny, a Lola man. Is he Lola? He might just be. No, okay, the in-game username is just Lola. He's Lola man for sure. You could give it to a Giant Bomb. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in, another TV viewer. We had a really good number of follows and views on YouTube. Of course, I had a spicy title with sex in the title for last week's episode, and that's great that people tuned in. They only watched 6 seconds of the video for a filler episode, but I will take that over very little views, or even less views. But also in terms of follows, we've got Cheetah7, Neons _ Wolves and Pizza, Cheetahs NG. So thank you for the follows. We do have quite a bit to go over here. Hopefully we won't run into Toonami, but I started pretty late and try not to go on too many tangents here. But anyway, here we go. Um, so, oh, right, and I need to test out stream markers. So, yep, stream markers are working. So Ryu and Chun-Li are joining Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. So that's a really interesting development. We've seen lots of fighting game collaboration, but we really haven't seen Street Fighter do much outside of maybe Smash. But here, I guess, with the changing of the guard with Ono out, I think we are seeing some flexibility, both into Street Fighter, into Capcom, and outside of Capcom, Street Fighter into other things. So that's interesting. I did not realize, that game was still going at that momentum, that Capcom would be interested like that. But of course, former pros, and I'm sure still actual pros, are working on it. So I'm just glad that game has still some life in it. We get into a pretty big story here. This, if I could have got it into a title, probably would have been the and that story is brought to us by Game Informer. The next story brought to us by Jinx.tv. That's Jinx with a G. Bandai Namco and NRS cut ties with WePlay after scam bet partnership comes to light. Both the developer and the game publisher pulled out of future events, probably due to the WePlay X1XBet controversial relationship. So, WePlay UFL has a partnership with a Russian betting company, 1xBet. All right, and just trying to get into the why here. The deal breaker for the publisher and developer was 1xBet's shady business, as their UK website was taken down after the Times published their deeds. Sunday Times investigation into his global activities, which include promoting a spicy Pornhub casino, quote unquote, bets on children's sports, and advertising on illegal websites. The Gambling Commission confirmed this weekend that it has launched an investigation. So it sounds like NetherRealm and Bamco are really getting ahead of this. They're registered in Cyprus, a location famous for money laundering. Owners fleeing due to operating without a license, and more controversies. So this company attempted to salvage themselves with England's top football clubs in 2019, but people did not fall for it. The Russian enterprise recently signed a deal as the official betting partner for ESL Pro Tour, CSGO, and ESL One Summer and Winter Dota 2. So those companies may want to watch out, or else they could run into some issues. Our next, actually, I think there's more on this. So unfortunately, this partnership, we have a .esports article. This partnership was going to blur the lines of esports and traditional sports league with We Play Ultimate Fighting League. Um, but, you know, obviously they were shady and they're not going to be dealt with anymore. It's a shame they threw all that away, and they're apparently set on not changing their ways. Um, we do have a response from WePlay. Basically, their statement says they will move forward with its plan to host more fighting games. Good luck with two major fighting game havers not on board. Bandai and NRS made up the entire roster of the season one. Whew. Well, they're really going to have to ask around if they're going to get other fighting games. That's all their fighting games have pulled out from under them. Huh. Okay, so that's about all there, but that is interesting. So let's see. Another Jinx article: Street Fighter V launches fragrance collaboration with Dave Davidoff. Is that a real thing? Yeah, Davidoff. Never heard of it, but there you go. If you want to smell like a sweaty Ryu or a glistening Chun Li, there you go. Um, and so another ongoing story, another Jinx article here. Former Smash Pro Zero opens up about suicide attempt, and the interview was taken down. Um, he spoke about what drove him uh, to try and commit suicide, as well as the PTSD following his exclusion from the Smash scene. So a lot of this is basically fallout from the Me Too stuff, where Zero got Me Too'd. Um, huh. So apparently, him getting Me Too'd, uh, one of his employer did a background check on him, and I guess this came up. Okay. But just wanted to put that out there as we go through stuff. Want to make sure that really gets out there. Another Jinx.tv article. Um, Guilty Gear Strive. We sort of talked about it before, but it is getting another beta test. So we have some details here. So the beta test is going to be May 13th, 2021 from 8 p.m. To May 16th, 2021, 8 a.m. That's PST. May 14th, 4 a.m. to May 16th, GMT. Wait, I'm confused. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused. Because isn't the entire time? Wait, no. Okay. It's the two different time zones. That's what's going on. Um, right. But players from both PS4 and PS5 will be able to take part in the beta with cross-play between both consoles enabled. Following modes will be available to use during the beta. Um, Versus tutorial, training, and online match. Every single character on release will be available to play here. The last one was limited, so that's pretty cool. The beta client, you should be able to start downloading it on May 7th, so a bit of a pre-download there. If you already had it, you'll be able to update it. So last time people had issues getting the beta from the PS Store, so you may want to go directly to their website. A lot of these stores are really bad. I just was on Steam and they didn't even have a fighting game section despite having a Japanese game developer sell. It's just horrible. PlayStation Store, no exception. It's really bad. But yeah, if you played the previous beta, there are some things you need to know before trying out the new one. They point out a couple things here, which I think we'll go into and when we get to our later news articles. But for now, all anti-air moves have been buffed. Thank you. We do not need a Street Fighter V situation here. Rematch function has been added. No brainer. That's a plus. Jumps and air dashes now cover less distance. So, in the nutshell, there it seems like air stuff was stupid and sounded like a really Street Fighter V situation where even if you punish somebody in the air, it doesn't matter because the risk reward, the risk for you getting hit isn't as great as the reward for you eventually getting something in the air, which is really a frustration I had with Street Fighter V. This was quite a while ago. I know people say it's better now, but I'm not going to be playing Capcom games anytime soon. But yeah, that's exciting stuff. Hopefully I can do it. I've recently finished up studying, and I've got a bit of some free time here, so I'd like to get into it. It's supposed to be a little bit more beginner friendly for Guilty Gear, in Guilty Gear terms. So even if I suck, I'd like to try it. You do have to buy it to get into the beta, but again, I will not be doing Capcom. I'm happy to support ArcSys though. Another interesting thing is a localized version of the game was released in a small number of arcades in Japan, showcasing a small number of balance changes. So that's really interesting. I mean, I guess you can do that, and even our title of this video is them doing that. Them doing location tests, which is something that used to happen in the arcades and such. You would think it would be all virtual now, but no. A Jinx.tv article. Riot Games shuts down rumors of NFTs coming to Project L, which is their fighting game. Another Jinx.tv article. We have some footage of Guilty Gear Strive's Japan beta test with cinematic supers. So the damage in Guilty Gear was very, very large. So instead of reducing the damage or anything like that, they went from best of 3 to best of 5, it looks like. So again, I don't know, but according to this article, instant kills may not be in, but it seems like we have flashy supers, which is sort of the trend nowadays, instead of instant kills. Oh wait, I should read this entire sentence instead of butchering it. Arxis is moving to flashy cinematic supers that end the round. The bonus damage from wall breaks is now lethal. I think from the way they're phrasing this is it can be lethal as opposed to it just leaving you at 1 life or whatever previously. In terms of changes, we have ROM lethal. Her swords no longer cause wall splat when thrown out of in a combo. Instead, they bounce the opponent off the wall. She was very popular and powerful because, and we know this is a true and not just something people say on the internet, because Sonic Fox picked her. Leo also got nerfed. His grounded cross-up sword slash no longer leads to a combo on normal hit. So interesting stuff there. Another Jinx.tv article, Street Fighter V is having, or rather, Red Bull Kumite is coming to London featuring Guilty Gear Strive. Also, yeah, well, I think it's going to be Street Fighter V. But yeah, it's a Street Fighter V tournament, but it's also going to have Guilty Gear Strive stuff. So again, sort of interesting that that's in person. You would think they would want to do it virtually, but we are opening up for better or worse around the globe here. Getting to our main news story here. Riot to start in-person Project L tests according to reports. This is a Jinx.tv article. So they did send out, and we covered this, I believe, on the podcast, maybe not, but Riot has started playtesting Project L. Certain people got a survey a little while back asking about it. And this person, the skilled Roy, received an invitation to playtest Project L for a total of 18 hours spread across 3 days starting on 23rd of April. The devs are bringing in different people in waves. Players are encouraged to bring a +1 to test the game out. So, interesting stuff. I am not a huge fan of League of Legends. I did end up downloading Wild Rift just to see the craziness that is having that on my phone. And I tried to do Legends of Runeterra, but it's not as good as Magic the Gathering. But fighting games I can definitely do, especially if S-Kill is involved. Another news item here, we have Jinx.tv. So, Rose was released, so there's that. She's supposed to be pretty good. Well, I can't remember if she was pretty good or not, but, well, yeah, you probably know by now. But more interestingly, Street Fighter V, and this might make sense because we have Street Fighter 2, and then we go into Street Fighter 3, and then Street Fighter Alpha is in the past, and Street Fighter 4 is in between. I think between. I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. Street Fighter 4 is not a sequel in the timeline. Let's put it that way. Street Fighter 5 is not a sequel in the. Well, it is a sequel that goes in the direction of Street Fighter 3. But this article, Street Fighter 5, Rose's story mode teases franchise reboot, which would make sense story-wise to get away from these sequels that are not actually sequels. So this also ties into the fact that Rose might be a time traveler, so they really might have to clean up this story. Um, uh, our next news item, Jinx.tv. Mago topples Tokido and earns first Capcom Cup spot. C9 Kyo apologized. This is a Jinx.tv article. Apologizes for cheesing Shroud and others during 100K Mortal Kombat 11 tournament. So apparently, this person was using Shiva Stomp to cruise through the tournament. Last time I checked, that's how tournaments are won, is cheesing. And the FGC apparently did have his back, Sonic Fox. And this actually is a competition that's apparently switching games and stuff, so you're not going to have a ton of knowledge about any of the games. So finding a strategy like that is going to really help you get an edge. Like next set of matches, or however this is being decided, they're apparently playing Halo 3. Another Jinx.tv article, we have the Street Fighter V Spring Update. Which has Rose, some costumes, as you can imagine. Dan, Akira, Oro, and a mystery character. 11, who isn't really a character, but we've went over him. Uh, Jinx.tv, once again. Smash Ultimate Pro Samsora banned from competing, deletes social media. The Smash Ultimate, I'm guessing there's a word missing there, was criticized for his involvement in the recent events that transpired in the Smash community regarding sexual misconduct. Former Smash Ultimate player Samsora has been banned by Florida tournament organizer CAGD following his involvement in the sexual misconduct allegations made by Captain Zack. Person was accused multiple times of withholding information of Zack's relationship with Nairo and other pro players while Captain Zack was underage. So basically aiding and abetting. So another person, Salem, accused Samsora of not coming forward with information regarding Captain Zack's multiple relationships while underage with other Smash Pro players, provided messages of Morris explaining his reasoning behind the decision. And Samsora deleted his Twitter afterwards. So, happy ending, sort of. Not really. There is a really good article here on Jinx.tv. Skullgirls is finally catching a break in 2021, which sort of goes over the history of Skullgirls. If you didn't know, there was a lot of nonsense Skullgirls had to deal with. So shortly after release, this is a Jinx.tv article, so you should check it out in full if you like to. But publisher Autumn Games faced lawsuits over fraud allegations connected to another game, Def Jam Rapstar, which cut off financial support to Skullgirls developer Reverge Labs and forced layoffs. The core members reformed as Lab Zero Games and crowdfunded, but they hit another problem when Konami, and I think a lot of people focus more on Metal Gear Solid and Kojima, but this happened first to Skullgirls, with Skullgirls getting screwed by Konami. Konami severed ties and requested Skullgirls be removed from PlayStation and Xbox stores. It was re-released as Skullgirls Encore in 2014, before getting a second wind as Skullgirls Second Encore on PS4 and PC. Fast forward to 2020, and Mike Z turned out to be a giant asshole, and had layoffs and reformation of Future Club and Hidden Variable Studios to work on Skullgirls once again. And now this year they have the Skullgirls Championship Series. Anyway, it's a really good article here. And it is pretty amazing to me. Not only a fighting game, but a game that's older can have a second lease on life, so many years later. Oh, and also it was supposed to be at EVO Online. Let's see, but EVO Online did not happen. So that's twice Skullgirls has been let down by EVO. At least twice, maybe sometimes behind the scene. So sort of unorthodox here, but Toonami is on, or more accurately, Attack on Titan is on. But So we're going to stop the stream and we'll do a part 2 of this because there is actually quite a bit to go over. And yeah, as always, thanks for tuning in.